Cells at Work, or Hataraku Saibou, is one of the season's newest anime series that provides a unique take on what happens inside your body. The human body consists of 37 trillion cells that are hard at work around the clock in order to keep your body functioning. There are the red blood cells that deliver oxygen throughout the body, to the white blood cells that fight any foreign bacteria and viruses that invade your body. These are just two of the many different types of cells that live within people. Get to know these unseen heroes and the stuff they do inside you. Okay, that sounded a bit suggestive, but it isn't, okay? It's just how things work. Starting off, I would say it is a very refreshing series with its unique setting. The events that are being depicted are not exactly accurate to what is biologically and physically happening, since there are things like buildings, technology, real-world objects, and let's not forget actual people as the actual cells being used to depict what the cells are doing. Certain parts of the body or organs are actually buildings or facilities rather than something that is actually of flesh and blood. But that is what makes the show fun and easy to understand. In a way, the series is very educational for those not too knowledgeable of the anatomical and physiological workings of the human body. Or maybe you never studied biology. By depicting these elements of the human body into something we can relate to, really makes the show very much enjoyable. But even if you aren't interested in the informational aspects, it is still very much entertaining and fun to watch. Of course, you may not necessarily want to watch an anime series to learn, but for some it can add a pleasant additional enjoyment to their experience. But the concept behind using people and real working things to depict what happens in the human body is what really makes this show great. For the characters, the series is mainly centered around one particular red blood cell and one particular white blood cell. They don't really have names besides the type of cells they call each other, but they do have a unit number on some sort of identification tag to distinguish themselves. The red blood cells are depicted as delivery workers, while white blood cells look like janitors, I guess. Sanitation engineer might be more appropriate. Every other type of cell are also depicted as other types of workers that you would normally see in the real world, such as office workers, cooks, factory workers, etc. Each individual cell has his or her own personality that makes it different from another. Although they may all carry the same function respective to the type of cell they are, they don't all operate on the same level of efficiency. One might be less knowledgeable or experienced compared to another. One big, or should I say small appeal, would be the platelets, or keshoban, who do various tasks to maintain the structures around the body. I think many people who watch anime and browse the internet frequently have already seen them already, but they are depicted as cute kindergarteners. One particular platelet, which I think is the main one of the series, always makes an appearance in almost every episode, and she is just super adorable to watch. Never seen something so cute in my life. Anyways, that's all I'm gonna say about this. But yeah, it's pretty cute. Please don't hate me in the comments. The show is very upbeat and energetic. Visually, the series is colorful with lots of bright, vivid colors. That adds to the fun of the show. Although the red blood cells look low-key like Mario, but that's probably just a coincidence in design. Since this series is by David Production, of course there will be a JoJo reference in there somewhere. One aspect of this series that might turn some people away is that there is no progression. What I mean by this is that each episode does not involve another. So far, I think you can watch any episode besides the first in any order and it would still make sense. Perhaps the events do happen chronologically for each consecutive episode, but they don't exactly lead up to the next. Instead, each episode is a different danger that is happening within the human body, such as a food poisoning or an infection. In addition, the setup of each episode may get repetitive at times. The main red blood cell will somehow get accidentally involved with the disaster at hand, and the show's main white blood cell shows up to try to solve the problem, and conveniently always crosses paths with the red blood cell every time. Even though since there are trillions of cells out there, the chances of those two particular cells meeting are slim to none, because there are trillions of red blood cells out there and thousands of white blood cells. They shouldn't be meeting quite often. But it doesn't matter cause it's anime. But because of the predictable setup of the show, I feel this series wasn't made to have a cohesive and sequential story, and for many this can be a huge turnoff and perhaps will be the reason you shouldn't watch this series. Nonetheless, for those who are just looking to watch something fun and happy, this anime series will provide more than enough of that, and Cells at Work should definitely be the show for this season you should consider watching. For those of you already watching Cells at Work or Hataraku Saibou, what do you think of this series so far? Would you say this series is lacking in story, or is it appropriately fun and enjoyable? Let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video.